Okay, I changed my mind again. I think I might try to do a garden tour. We'll see how it goes. I'll show you what all I have. I don't technically have a garden. I have a yard that's growing lots of things, and I just kind of plant what I want, where I want, how I want, and see how it goes. I don't do a lot of planting anymore. This is my outlet to just be creative, do scientific trials, and just test out things and see how it works, and just learn each season what works better and better. And I'll show you what all I got going on here. Alright, so these two are night blooming epis. This is a horrible, horrible fail. Desert rose. Yes, I hear you, sir. And I'm pretty sure it's dead, but I'm still holding out hope. That's why it's sitting here. And then, as you may have seen, I'm a little bit of a sucker for some succulents. And there we go. And there's some agave back there, or random, I don't know what it's called. Some jade plants, some cactus, and some more agave, string of bananas. And I plan on planting something pretty in this again. It doesn't get a whole lot of sun here, so it needs to be a flower of some sort that can handle that. And then this lovely, my parents gave it to my grandmother when I was young, and it's been out in her front yard my entire life, and then she passed away. And when she did, I went and pulled a pup from her front yard, so now I have a plant that was my grandmother's, and it just does absolutely wonderful here. And we are still very much in the process of trying to get this place organized, so there's going to be crap and junk, and we just kind of work when we can, do when we can, because all of us are either in school or have jobs, so we just got to make do. So this is my avocado, and of course the one that I paid good money for is dead, but the root stock is coming up, and like I said, I like to see how things happen, so I'm going to let it grow and we'll see what it does. These are grapes that desperately need to be potted up because I don't have a permanent spot for them, and we will let them grow in pots until we figure out what we want to do with them. This is that lovely orchid in my plant haul tour, and it's all about spent now, unfortunately. And I gotta dig these out, but there's some cuttings from my mother, and I will get them separated for a swap. And then I just have a little ginger that was from a sale there. This thing, I swear, it's a butterfly bush, and it was just fine all winter. It looked exactly the same. I pulled it out, set it in some low light to let it get hardened off, and it just shriveled up and died. So if you know anything about what I did wrong there, let me know, because I haven't hardly had to do anything to it, and now it's done. And this somebody gave me as an avocado, and as you see, it lived through all our freezes just fine, and I brought it out and it's doing great. Again, just gonna see what happens. This is my variegated pink lemon, and it's kind of scraggly from the winter, but it does have a bloom, and it's had multiple blooms, and it desperately needs some fertilizer and to go back to its original spot that it does really well in. And I think it didn't have the best protection over winter, but everybody has told me that these get killed here during freezes. So I kept it in a pot, and I was planning to up pot. Well, I never did, and I think that's what saved it, is having that extra airspace around the pot and extra underneath to keep it from completely freezing where I had it. So I will definitely do that again if I have to do what I did this last winter to protect it. Well, this might take a couple of days because I hear thunder in the background. This I've set out so I can go ahead and prune and see what's alive and see what's shareable. And it's just a mixture of little cactus and succulents, and I really like them. And I have a Meyer lemon, which actually produced fruit last year. I think this is only the second year I've had it. And I have some, had to go find my tag. This is yarrow, but I just separated this baby from this yesterday and left my tag over there. And this is Cuban oregano. And as you can see, this is a pomegranate that needs to get in the ground. And then I have a Rio Grande cherry plant that I'm trying to just let it get a little bit bigger, and I'm pretty sure those can be fine in the ground. And this is a guava. I can't remember what variety it is. I think it might be strawberry guava. But also just going through, pinching off some of the growth so it bushes out some more to let it get bigger so it can handle our winters. Here we have some lemon balm, and it's doing amazing. Again, tried really hard with this, failed a couple of times, and now this one is doing amazing where it's at. I need to come through and harvest a bunch of that so sister can have some tea. I had to buy some new lemongrass because unfortunately mine didn't make it through the winter. And here's garlic chives, and they have reseeded themselves, which I'm very happy about, and we need to use some of those up. And then these are calla lilies that I got super duper clearance last year at Lowe's, and as a trial left them out over winter in pots instead of in the ground to see how they would do. And as you see, they are coming back up. There's some oregano. It was doing okay in the spring, and it just died mostly. There's a tiny little bit trying to survive there, so if it dies, I'm gonna plant something else in there. And this is my kind of pile of to-do to figure out either where they need to go. Sometimes plants do need to stay here because it's under our shade cell and this blocks the brightest heat. But there's a mulberry here that needs to be planted out, a couple of gingers. I just had to repot this. I think my native soil was too clay where I pulled up this white cascade chlorhodendron. And I'm hoping it'll save it because there's no more new growth on it. And I think it was just getting and staying too damp. Then I have some gardenias that I took cuttings off of a neighbor and rooted those, and they're doing amazing. And then this, I have no idea what it is. I got it at a plant trade. Let's see. That Jatrophaea. And I just thought it was neat looking. Anything more tropical looking. And these, I think, are white lilies. They need to go in the ground. I think this is dead. This is a fig that I got in a trade. This is a bay that I need to go through and prune and hopefully find a great place for it. And this is bay leaf. This is what you use in your cooking, not necessarily these because these were damaged, but you would pick off the green and then let it dry and then put it in your spice jars and use that for bay leaves. And there's another gardenia. And just a quick look at all the seedlings and this sweet potato I had left in the ground to see if it'd start coming back. It did, but the chickens kicked it, and I took the start off of it and rooted it and planted it, and they kicked that too. So now the chickens have an enclosed area, so I'm gonna have to cut those off and root those to plant them out soon. Started a whole new tray of stuff here. And then some plant graveyard, which I have been going through and rearranging. This is all the plants that were brought out with all the helper hands. So I still need to go through a few of those and see what's alive or dead. That one's empty. I have some taro growing in there, which we're very interested in trying out. This area is kind of a crazy jungle. I planted these elephant ears, which, let me know, are they the same as taro? I've seen so many things that are conflicting if all elephant ears are taro and if all taro are elephant ears, I don't know. And I leave my wild hibiscus. They grow kind of everywhere. I don't want to kill them because they do so well. And then a Seven Sisters, which I tried for years to get rid of and have finally let it grow, and just kind of did an impromptu fencing to keep my dogs in the yard. Then we have a Maypop passion flower vine. That's a new trade. We're going to see how it does here. And this is kind of a test as well, letting the clovers grow up in the garlic. But I've been recently told that instead of picking them, to leave them because they pull the nutrients up to the plants that are higher in the ground. So we're going to see how that is. I did check, this is elephant garlic and then regular garlic. And I did check, they are bulbing up good. And I've just let all of them grow through here. And this is our lettuces. Ruby! Sister brought out Ruby. She's not too familiar with outside. She's a 2020 cat that we just found in our yard. And she's probably 13 pounds. No, she's massive. Like 15. Alright, 15 then. And this is just lettuces that we haven't harvested off of yet, but obviously we really need to. And a bunch of weeds that we need to get cleaned up. And there are some little baby lettuces back there as a succession sow, but they'll probably get choked out before I get to that. This is a chamomile plant, which I was recently told you cannot grow in this area, and I see buds on there, and I've harvested quite a few, and this has been years in the progress, so it's quite a success. And my area gets super hot, humid, and just nasty, and the light here is extremely harsh, so I just have it on my pot nut table, and it just gets dappled light, and I am getting chamomile. This is a hardy bromeliad. It just kind of does what it wants, and I get pups off of it all the time for trades as well. I have these new pots which need to be cleaned out and have new soil put in, and I'm not really sure what I should plant in them yet. I mostly have full sun around here, and I guess it's just going to be whatever grows in my starts for options. But if you have ideas or good things that you like to plant and planters that are good size, let me know. Alright, so Aztec berry got at a Master Gardener sale. It hasn't done anything where it was planted, so I dug it up and it stayed okay for the winter. It definitely needs to have something done to it. Let me know if you've grown this before, because it is new to me. We dug up these two papayas, and the roots still look pretty good, so I'm going to leave them a little bit longer and let the weather get warm to see if anything comes back, because I just cannot make myself throw them out yet. I believe this is the purple lantana, and the hummingbirds and butterflies absolutely love this. It does reseed and come back on its own every year. And this, I am 5'9½", and this plant is just a little bit taller than I am. So it is in a barrel. It does get big. I think it would be fine in my ground, but just having the bed space for it at the moment is not the best for us. Growing in here is zinnias and chicory, and it's just one of those barrels. And then I have the cutest, teeniest, tiniest tomatoes that grow in the bunches, which I think is amazing. And I will have to check the variety, which I still haven't. And then I have my plumerias, which there is a lot that are alive. Some we're still waiting for. I need to cut that one back a little bit more. I just cut that one yesterday, and it might live as well, but even the teeniest, tiniest rootstock is allowing for life. So I'm not giving up on anything yet. And this is a cutting somebody gave me, and it's super crispy. I think it's time to just give up on it. I don't know how to pronounce the name of this. Boutia palm. This should grow some sort of fruit for us. Ooh, it's starting to rain. I need to hurry. We have an olive tree that needs to be planted out. Loquat. Got some walking onions, one little tiny nasturtium, some English thyme, sage, a fig I'm trying not to give up on, some foxglove flowers, green onions that are in another video, I can link that, and then my little collection of mint, and it's starting to rain, so I will be back. Okay, it stopped raining. I'm going to try to finish this up. That is a Mexican bird of paradise, and it has a horrible weed that keeps coming back, so this needs to be transplanted and have that weed taken out. And then I have some gladiolas here. They're in a pot. Sometimes we just don't have the space. We're growing and expanding just as much as we possibly can. And prickly pear cactus is there. And I do have green apple mint, and then this is chocolate mint. I have in this bed lots and lots of things. We have beets, which who knows if they're gonna bulb up or not. Some feather frills kale, some red kale, some, I don't know, feed store kale, some yellow Swiss chard, some collard greens, some Hansai Thai Asian greens, and then I'm going to be ready to plant this area out. I don't know if I'm going to backfill it or just plant it at the moment. It already had been backfilled this year, just not too long ago, but it is really sunk. And I have some onions hiding in there along with these. I don't even remember what kind of beans these are. They're black beans. And there's supposed to be a pink banana squash in here too, but I don't think that made it. But then we have the lovely arched trellis to go to this other side where I have spaghetti squash, a few different varieties of cucumber that I'm testing out this year, and another spaghetti squash, my red Asian mustard greens. I don't know why I cannot remember the name of this cabbage for the life of me. All still doing well. I'll get a better view, but I do have a massive spaghetti squash growing in here. I have some leeks right there that made it through a frost, and I planted all the peppers out. And then these cabbages are doing amazing in here, even though they're crowded. And I've never grown these heading style cabbages before. And then this is the bed that I've uncovered to plant all the tomatoes and all the lovely things in. Found a whole bunch of fire ants and put DE, and then of course it starts raining, which kind of makes it obsolete. So I went and got black pepper and cinnamon, and now I have a nice spicy bed that hopefully will get rid of the fire ants. It has worked for me in the past. And then I have the okra, the Genovese basil, the random rabbit poop, some purple basil, some more okra, and marigolds. This bed's still blank all the way through till there. And we have okra, and where the pink tag is, I had planted a canary melon. That was a transplant. I don't know if the transplanting killed it. I have transplanted them before and they did fine, or if the bunny that was obviously in my garden ate it, or something else. I don't know. This is a lovely Japanese maple that my parents gave me. And then we have another empty bin there that will be filled up and I'm sure be planted out soon. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but when I don't have space, I just kind of make space. And I will end up posting a video of this monstrosity from last year. But that is just something we have thrown together so we can have a massive trellis. And this is squash Georgia candy. Never grown that squash, never grown this type of vining squash before. That's going to get big like a pumpkin over here. We'll see how that does. Then over here we have Blue Hubbard, which I have never been successful on. The germination's been horrible for me. So I'm quite impressed with this thus far. And ooh-wee, them free taters. Get out of my tater patch. Free taters. Look like they are growing pretty snazzy over here. They need to have some more leaves put on them. The chickens scratched some out. And that looks like a morning glory. So that needs to come out. But yeah, I'm liking this so far. I'm really hoping we'll have extra taters. There's morning glories there too. Get out of my tater patch. Pixie! And some ants. What's with these ants? All these rain has just been driving these ants up in my beds. It's horrible. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. I thought this was dead. Look. I'm so happy about that. And I've got my little canna patch. I've just been getting different ones, the red canna, variegated canna. These are, I think, yellow and orange. And then I have a red right there. And I'm just kind of growing them out, letting them spread over here while we finish other projects. That way I can transplant them to where I want them permanently. And then, oh, lovelies are coming back. I thought the chickens had murdered you. Oh, y'all, fingers crossed, my red banana will come back soon too. I had a lovely red banana in here and I thought the chickens murdered it all, but maybe it was just the weather. My ones up front did amazing. And these are more sheltered, so I figured they were just dead. Alright, let's see what else we can find. And yes, this yard is a jungle. And we do a lot of reclaiming back areas. Because the yard was taken over, I think it was 2 years. Nobody took care of this yard. So we have this pepper vine stuff that just kind of grows everywhere that we continuously fight back. And then our woods. I mean, we just grow the biggest saplings and seedlings so quick. Oh, I saw something I forgot to show you. This was a gift from Suburban Earth as well, and that is a birdhouse gourd. Alright, and that was over here in this crazy trellis thing we got going on. This I usually spread out to help keep down the weeds over here. I've got wild cucumbers growing over here. The dogs like to eat that, so if I don't cover it, then they smell it and they go trampling through these things and eat over there. You again? Are you creeping me? Meow. Oh, you sweet boy. Yes, you are. You like going on garden walks too? Yeah, sweet boy. This is one of those areas I'm talking about. This last summer, I think, we reclaimed all of that back. And that's a good 30 feet. It's hard to tell. And I mean, I put probably 8 inches of wood chips in there to suppress the weeds, because I didn't want to lay all that in weed fabric, so I just kind of go through and hand pick them. The chickens were scratching them down a lot, but they're not going to be allowed to go in there now since everything is growing back. But we have a lot of mimosas that grow up everywhere in our yard thanks to Sister, who likes to play with the seeds and drop them in random places. And a lot of this has been murdered by the ice storms. We had some hibiscus through here, which they did not get covered. My bad. And this was a Barbados cherry, and I was for sure it was going to be okay, but man, some of that trunk is just split, and I'm going to have to try to find another one, maybe find a better place for it, maybe full sun, test it out. That's another birdhouse gourd. And then back here, I've got a lot of gingers growing. And I pretty much have no idea what they are. I have a video of everything for myself, so I can kind of remember, but I'll have to find it and review it to know what all my gingers are. But, you know, variegated ginger, another ginger, but they're all different gingers. And they're coming up nicely. And then this lovely fern was just growing in my front yard in the grass. So it's been rehomed over here. It's a native. Some more variegated, some more other ginger, another fern. We lost a plant here. Mr. Fix-It's plant was here, and hopefully it's not dead. And then I could not believe this angel trumpet was coming back, but it did, so I'm excited. So it needs to be fertilized. But there's another angel trumpet here, and I don't think it's gonna live. We had birds of paradise in here, very sheltered area. Don't think they're coming back. And as you can see, there is tiny little weeds coming up everywhere. So I'm probably going to take the hoe or shovel or something and come through here and just chop underneath to reduce them. And then this is root beer plant, and this is medicinal, and it also can be invasive. But we'll have to do a little separate informational about them. Okay, this is what I call my rose garden. I used to have a lot of roses. Now it has a lot of everything. I just chopped those back. They're growing from rootstock. I don't like them. They're going to get dug out. I probably won't replace that one because I like to grow things along this fence. This one as well is going to be dug out. Then we have some irises, and just dotted through here there's a bazillion 4 o'clocks. They're hot pink 4 o'clocks, and then this is the massive one, and that was gifted to me from a friend of mine who passed away. Some more irises, some asparagus craziness, and I have interplanted and intercropped and kind of doing permaculture style, where I have high and low plants through here. I'd like to do that everywhere, but I just don't know if we'll get that far or if we're going to use raised beds. I don't know what we're going to do. But I have lots of garlics in here. And then I have some elephant garlics over here. Oh, an escape. And another scape. I have never had garlic scapes, so I've been collecting them and sticking them in the freezer to hopefully get some to do something with. Y'all look at that massive asparagus. They had all went to seed. I guess this one's a late bloomer, but it's huge. It can go to seed and spread too. And then I have this rose bush, which unfortunately it's not in bloom right now, but it's lovely as well. And then I have some beans growing over here up this trellis. I'm going to take you around the other side so you can see from that way too. I've hidden a straight neck squash in here because I have horrible vine borers, so I'm trying to get around them and figure out what I can do aside from just spray them constantly. Oh, the tag's over here. Y'all, I don't remember what I plant, so I tag rattlesnake beans. We've never grown those, so we're going to try those. And that one's almost to the top of the fence, so they're doing pretty good. Then I have a lovely comfrey plant in here, and I might end up rehoming it as well. And then these have been in this bed for probably 15 years, so I have no idea the variety, but we still enjoy them, and they're getting bigger and bigger every year. These yellow ones over here is the same, and those are probably 4.5 foot tall this year. The yellow ones always seem to come up after the burgundy. And then we have a lovely little rose. This is a rose bush I planted for sister, and she loves it. She loves the yellow, so that's what she got. And that's about all I got going on in here. Oh, I do have some onions hidden in there as well. So hopefully a mixture of onions and garlic will keep those food from being munched on too much. Holy moly, y'all. This area is our orchard, and it has definitely seen better days, but we did just reclaim this area back last fall. So there's a lot of weed pressure still happening, as well as this dollar weed. I mean, I probably had 12 inches of mulch on here, and this stuff is still growing back. So we will have to come through and clear all this out. And I don't know if you can see, but we've planted 4 trees in 1 hole. We're trying that method where you prune the inside and just harvest from the outside. So we're trying that out. And we have plums and peaches here. And then this is where a lot of our citrus was. It looks like 4 citruses through here are just dead. So that's unfortunate. But we do have blueberries. We have 2 blueberry plants. And look, just lovely. I have no idea the variety. I got that at a trade. And then I got this, which I did pay for, but I don't know where the tag is. So I don't know the variety of it either, but I mean, it is loaded. We've got this little spinny thing here to help reflect and scare off any birds. But this is what I'm talking about. I just went through and weeded this whole place by hand not too long ago. I mean, maybe 3 weeks ago. And there's a tree growing in my blueberries. I don't know what to do. And all this sticker weed stuff, all of this, I had pulled it all out. These trees are growing from stumps. We'll probably have to dig those out. And then in here is muscadine. I had a massive, this whole fence full, and there was some miscommunication about what plant to cut down, so it got cut down, but it's growing back. Hopefully I'll get that to recover. Oh, and I saw a lovely ladybug over here. That's lovely too. I don't know where it went. And then this is my thornless blackberry, if you can see through all the weeds. And it is going out everywhere. Probably 4 foot this way, growing up this way. And this sure looks like I don't know. That might be one of those wild hibiscus as well. What you think? Just growing up right here, straight in the middle. I've never grown this. Well, maybe it's part of the blackberry. Holy moly, this wasn't here. This is as tall as I am. This wasn't here 3 weeks ago. So I figured it must be the hibiscus, but I don't think it is. It's not, y'all. That's my blackberry. My thornless blackberry has shot up a huge spike instead of just, I thought all we were going to get is these weird little things until we cut them back so it could grow up. But there is a whole heck of a lot going on here. And the flowers, we need to put some fertilizer in that so maybe we get some good fruit off of those. And we're going to have to go through and replace these. We tried just to overwinter the sugar cane in a wind covered area, sheltered. That did not work. We've tried planting it in the ground, sideways, how you're supposed to, up ways, crooked ways. We've tried all the ways and fell miserably at sugar canes. If you have tips for that, let me know. But again, more weeds. At least those are pretty. This was my thornless key lime, and it's murdered. But these are doing amazing. That's about all I've got going on in the back. Here's this side view. I don't know where I stopped because of the rain. But you can see just tons and tons of yellow cucumber flowers growing through there. Got a bunch of daikon radish going through here. A bunch of radishes that may or may not be doing anything. I've pulled up a couple that are okay. And here's a better view of that squash. And I am so proud of this. Every year, for the past few years, the vine borers have just taken everything out. So this is the closest I've gotten to getting a spaghetti squash. And today is April 23rd of 2023. So April, and I have that size of fruit. I'm pretty impressed. And I'm still going through here just picking out the outer leaves and letting this be some perpetual cabbage for us, and it seems to be working. Another little leek. There's the leeks that I showed you from the other side, and the peppers. And this is jicama. And I've struggled with this, but I haven't given up on it yet. Some of these either got chewed back or the transplant shock, but they are coming back as well. So hopefully we'll be able to get some jicama, because we absolutely love that vegetable. So if you have tips for that as well, let me know in the comments. Look at the lovely, absolutely lovely. That's why you plant flowers in your garden. For one, because butterflies are beautiful, but for another, they help keep things pollinated as well. Let's see if I can see where it went. There we go. See if we can get a little zoomy zoom. Oh, thank you. Such a sweet, sweet, lovely little butterfly. There's another one. Oh, they're having a war over the mimosas. Or they could be mating. Are y'all a pair? Whatever they are, they're lovely. I don't know what species they are. They're so quick. So that noise is why I'm probably going to do the rest of this as a voiceover. What we have here is a pecan tree. And all this is out front, by the way. Satsuma that needs to get in the ground already. This is a gooseberry. Seems to be doing quite well. I wanted to do this and the next one in pots so I can hide them from the heat when needed. And see how they can do here. And this Nanking cherry, I don't know how you pronounce it. That's a couple of fruiting things. And then this massive planter, the flowers I got from the trade. This is I can't remember the name, devil's trumpet, the double bloom purple and white devil's trumpet. And this is the Mexican mint marigold. And a little teeny tiny St. John's wort. Here I'm growing rhubarb as a tester, trying out, oh Lord, which pot does better. Because this also struggles here in our heat, but as you see I have rhubarb growing just fine. And then some of these are new from my little Lowe's trip. Maybe I'll have that short up. And then the banana plants that still need to get in the ground. Milkweed, variegated pineapple mint sage, green apple mint, which it was just moved up here recently. And it doesn't look too happy. But oh look! It does have red. I haven't had a red one. My other one was like a yellow and white. And it's a crown of thorns. So I'm excited that that's happy. And then I have a chocolate mint in that pot. This whole planter is just regular mint. I might half it and put something else that's pretty aggressive there. And these are my lovely strawberries. Aren't they great? Yeah, I got a pack from a big box store and none of them worked. But that could be my fault. They might have sat for too long. I think I planted them a week after I got them. Y'all, we have a little too much fun around here. And no, he's not just messing around. He just did his brakes. So he's setting them. But look, in my flower planter, which we need to finish and fix up with repairs, I have just a ton of peas growing. We need to pick those. We just call these garden snacks. I don't think any of them ever make it in our house. And I can't believe they're still doing so good. Tomorrow's the 1st of May. And they're still here. I don't think that ever happens. You get your brakes set? Hi, sister! Did you have fun?
Yeah. Ants.
Ants?
I knew you were going to video me.
Of course I am. You're adorable. I want to show everybody our hard work. This whole bed over here, I'm kind of just throwing things into it and see how it all works out. Some of them are annual, some are perennial. Got my onions all in here. Threw some random seeds earlier in the year here. Some sort of, I don't know what they were. Some mixed seed pack. And as you see, we got our first zinnia of the year. And I don't know what this is, but I'm letting it grow. So if you know, let me know. There's the foliage, and I have like a set of 3 here. But I don't know what it is, but hopefully we'll be able to see soon. And I literally have no idea. And behind, through all these weeds, we have pitcher plants. And they're just native here to Texas, along with a bunch of weeds. All of this needs to be finished. This is not complete. As you can see, I've got some bags of leaf, mulch there, then fresh manure laid, and we have the weed fabric underneath it, and then some spots still need to be filled. Yes, ma'am. Hi. So, as I go through and plant, I'm trying to come back and move this to fill it in to cover it, but this one right here is full of ants. Sister, go grab the grits. Help a mama out. They're in the closet. Look, right there's the cocuzel, or however you say zucchini. It did not come up, so I just reseeded it today. This one I don't remember what it is. Straight neck yellow squash. That's what I mean. The sun just bleaches these out, and I've even had this mostly hidden. I should have turned those around backwards. And this I think is a patty pan style. Yeah, white scallop squash. And that one, I just re-watered it. It's been pretty daggum hot today. Green scallop squash. So hopefully it recovers from the heat of the day with its extra water. I got a teeny tiny chamomile in here. Hopefully it'll work and do good out here. I've got another one out back which is doing pretty good. And this is one of my Lowe's specials. So Gerber daisies for half price. I don't know if they'll bloom again this year, but they'll come back here. And then my echinacea, and I have a few more that actually come up. I don't think I've ever had them come up, so I'm going to plant them all in there so it's a nice little pink area here. And this is another plant I got at the trade, and it is not happy with me either. And that's the Mexican sunflower. So it is finally now in the ground and well watered in. Sister planted that today. And then I have these banana trees in here. I think there's probably 6 or 7. And they're only, this is all growth from the spring because they got hit back from the freeze as well. But they did fine coming up, so hopefully we'll be able to see if they fruit. The lady didn't know what they were. And this I'm pretty sure it's from seed that I planted in the fall, and I'm thinking it's the Mexican mint marigold as well, so I'm pretty excited about that. I think they're just lovely. And if you see all the white flowers all through here, all around that way, that whole thing is filled with elderberry that the birds planted for us, and I absolutely love having that there. We had a fig here. It did great for years. I think Snowmageddon of 2020 killed it back. We tried to prune it and encourage it, and it just struggled. So we're going to chop that out and replace it. Alright, and Rudbeckia in the lovely yellow. It's a Toto Gold Rudbeckia, and then just a mum that I got in the fall, and it's blooming. That burgundy color. Oh, I didn't water this. I need to. I think this is salvia. I can't remember. I got so many plants, I don't know. Yeah, salvia. So it's lovely. And then I just got that one at Lowe's. And all the yellow flowers you see are for sister. She likes yellow, so I plant yellow. And then this is the one I absolutely cannot pronounce, but it is blooming and I love it. All that color. Off of one plant to have different color flowers. I love that. And I don't know how they spread, but we're going to nip them and see if they grow more this year as well. And then I probably should move this, but this is just a regular lantana, the sunrise. And it doesn't get a whole lot of sun here, but it was one of those get it in the ground before it dies things, so it's been there all winter and it's coming back, and I'll have to think of a better place for it, as well as fight these dollar weeds that are coming up. I do not want them taken over here because I have another bed that they're full of and I can't stand them. And I'm thinking maybe through here in this shade spot I might put the calla lilies, because when things say full sun, that does not mean full sun in my area. They die if I do full sun in my area. So that's about what we got going on up front, aside from the azalea / blackberry bushes. And like I said, this is like a project. I think I'm going to take it all the way out to there. Sorry, I can't see. All the way out to there where the Mexican mint marigolds are, and then just all the way through here. I'm going to be watching for cells to get the border. That way things like that don't happen, so the weeds don't crawl into the bed from the outside. Or I might just use that stuff you dig in and plant along that's black, just to give it some sort of edge and make it where we can have an easier time weed eating. But this is just kind of a hodgepodge thrown together extra growing area, and it's growing too. I don't know how big it'll get, but I do like how it swoops through here, because one day we might make this a circle driveway. So I like the idea of having all the things growing. But basically I wanted to do this kind of tour so for one we can see the progress of things as a great documentation. I've been making an album in Facebook for the last few years that I've been uploading, and that has been really good for me to have a place to refer back to different things, even plant names or when they grew or what grew best. But this way I can make verbal notes to myself as well and know what does good like that. I can look back and see what that is and know what that is if it's something I don't want for next year, or keep it. And I'm really wondering if that could be Mexican sunflower, but I seriously doubt it, so now I'm going to have to go check it out. But hope you enjoyed it, and there will be more. I'm going to try to do these monthly, that way we can see the difference in all the growth and the fixing of things. I'm going to have to get another load of manure soon and fill in these gaps. Oh, and I did just plant everywhere the leaves aren't right here, sunflowers. And the front part is all the ones Sister grew last year. I think it was a 10 or 12 inch sunflower across the seed area. And then on this side, I have a little pack of all the colors. You know, one of those packs that have all the colors that you don't know if they're really going to turn out. The seeds are tiny. And then this one, this area, is just the mammoth from in my gardener. So we'll see if those come up. Hopefully we can remember to keep things watered. And I am very impressed that the squash are still doing so good. Hopefully they stay hidden out here from the vine borers. Well, thanks for watching my first garden tour of hopefully many to come. And if you have any information, please feel free to share it, because I'm always learning. I'm always interested in finding out new ways of doing things and trying them out in my area, you know, with my food or my flowers or my plants. And I appreciate you spending time with me and watching this. And if you're got a little bit more time, watch a video that YouTube recommends for you next, or hit like, share, subscribe, all the good things, and help me grow. And thank you again for spending time with me, and I will see you on the next one.